Hello, welcome to your Big Brother Plays. I'm Bez, Pronouncie, and I want to ask you, what happens after the happy ending? When the princess is saved, when the guy gets the girl, what comes next? Well, that's exactly the question Code Realize Future Blessings aims to answer. This fan disc picks up after all the respective routes from the first game, and looks at what Cardia's future is with Lupin, Impy, Fran, Saint Germain, or Van Helsing. We also have 3 new tales: a Finis route, wherein Cardia tries to save her brother from her father's influence, a Sholmes route, where Cardia meets and falls in love with the famous detective, and a side story called Lupin's Gang, in which Cardia and friends have a run-in with the Mafia. Oh yeah, and there's also some extra bonus stories starring Delacroix called Deli's Room, so that's pretty nice too. So how did Cardia's happily ever afters play out? Without spoiling too much, I can tell you that they all have a few twists and turns along the way, and some provide serious discussion about what it means to be in a relationship with another person. Some of them are really dark and heavy, and they put an obstacle in the way of their love. Some of them, they have to figure out a problem in their relationship, and others are just mostly pure fluff. It's a good variety, and I also like the new 3 stories that we have with Sholmes, Finis, and Lupin's Gang. Lupin's Gang is especially entertaining. Alright, this is when we get to the spoiler section of the video, so if you want to play it and haven't already, you should exit now. For the rest of us, let's discuss the plots in detail and see what this game has to offer. To start with, let's look over Lupin's route. In this path, he and Cardia are happily married, but their friends sense strife in their relationship. Through their intervention, Cardia is able to steal Lupin's heart as effectively as he's stolen hers, and the two become closer. After that, Lupin helps Cardia have peace with her past by leading her to her father's diary. She is able to reconcile with the grief of her father and brother dying, and move forward with a renewed love for Lupin and the relationship that they have. It's a very thoughtful route. I like it. I like how it works out in the end. I like how it discusses Lupin and Cardia as a family together, even if it's just the 2 of them. I like Cardia's closure about all the versions of her father. Loving dad, famed mentor, and threatening tyrant. She learns to accept who he was and move on with her life with Lupin, and that's a really beautiful thing. Next, we have Van Helsing. His route is very interesting because he loves Cardia very much and wants to give her the best things he can. But by doing this, he forgets to listen to what she truly wants. Thanks to some intervention from Impy and Lupin, Van is able to realize this, and he and Cardia make up. After that, we get a short epilogue where Van proposes to Cardia. It's a really good route because of the conflict between the 2 lovers. It really shows that you can give all the love in the world to someone, but if you don't communicate with your relationship, it's never going to be for nothing. I appreciate how it showed that you have to talk to each other and sort of maintain a relationship, otherwise it's going to fall apart. You can love someone so much and it's still not enough. You have to communicate with your partner. Impy is next. In his route, both him and Cardia are trying to get to the moon, but they start running out of money to fund their adventure. Eventually, he agrees to help Queen Elizabeth in the construction of a type of submarine called a bathysphere in exchange for government funding for his moon journey. He and Cardia work with Fran to complete the machine, and they even spend some time underwater together. In the epilogue, the 2 get married in the way only Impy can, by falling from the sky with parachutes onto their guests. It's quite the scene, I tell you. I like Impy's route quite a bit. It's a really fun, lighthearted time with more than a few romantic moments. I really like the fan service in the route with Impy in the shower. That's my favorite part. It's really similar to the after story in the first game, actually, where you see him covered in water and sea shoes in the background. But either way, both of them, what can I say? Impy's hot. Let's look at Saint Germain. His goal is to find a cure for Cardia's poison, and to do this, he seeks out an old friend named Trismegius, the one who introduced Saint Germain to Idea in the first place. Though Trismegius' lab is trashed, they're able to find what they need thanks to Lupin's help. So they use the research of Saint Germain's friend to rid Cardia of her poison once and for all, with Victor's help. In the end, Saint Germain gives Cardia a ring and vows to love her forever. Then the 2 travel the world together. This was the route that made me actually kind of sympathize and understand Saint Germain more. I mean, it's really interesting seeing his emotions toward Cardia and her poison and trying to fix it. You can see how deeply he cares for her, and I really appreciated that. It made me understand the character way more than in the first game. And seeing Saint's backstory is also a very interesting tidbit too. Finally, my favorite boy, Victor Frankenstein. In his route, he has returned to his duties as royal alchemist, and Cardia and him are living a happy life together. That is, until Idea shows up. They point out Cardia could live much longer than the average human lifespan, and asked him to join God's Spec Ops team. By doing so, they get Fran, a very intelligent man, on their side, and he gets eternal life with Cardia. The decision weighs heavily on Victor and Cardia, but eventually they both agree that he won't join the organization because they don't want him to kill others, as Idea often does. At first, Idea threatens their lives, but Lupin and the others come and help fight them off. After that, Victor and Cardia vow to live happily together, regardless of how much time they have left. It's certainly an interesting route, I guess. I mean, it's very cool, and the conflict is very interesting, but at the same time, I'm like, Idea, get out of there. I just want to see the fluff. Give me more fluff. So, I have mixed feelings about this one, because you don't get as much Victor fan service as you could have, because Idea's in the way, but it's still a fun route, and it's a really adorable one too, so, it's good. Let's move on to Sholmes. This one picks up a bit into Van Helsing's route, where Cardia has been kidnapped by a killer and taken to the London sewers. Instead of Van Helsing saving her, though, we have John Watson rescuing our leading lady, who takes her first to his home and then to Sholmes' place. From there, Sholmes and Cardia slowly fall in love, even as their world starts to turn upside down, and Sholmes' dark secret is revealed. In the end, Alistair, who is revealed to be James Moriarty in the true route of Guardians of Rebirth, is a true mastermind behind everything, and he gives Sholmes one final challenge. If Sholmes can't find the antidote to stop it, Cardia's poison will spread throughout all of London. Luckily, the detective cracks the case, and everyone is saved. In the epilogue, Cardia and Sholmes are on a train, headed to their next adventure. Well, it's a pretty charming map. Its story beats are very similar to Van and Fran's, though, in that there's a man who thinks he's committed unforgivable sin, and therefore he doesn't want to find love, but Cardia does love him anyway, and they have a happily ever after. Which is not a bad thing at all, just an observation I noticed. Sholmes is a charming and intelligent character, and he's a very interesting one to explore, so I'm glad that we got a route for him in this game. It's really cool. The Finis route is next, and it's a loaded one. In this route, Cardia is kidnapped by Finis and friends, and her brother plans to use her to awaken Father. But Cardia's love for her sibling makes him waver, and makes him think that perhaps he's more than just a doll to be thrown away. In the end, Finis is able to resist their father's control and stop Code Realize. Afterward, Cardia and Finis live happily together in that mansion in Wales. Oh yeah, we also meet this weird guy from Idea named Hansel, who carries the soul of his sister around in a giant fork, and no, I'm not making that up, it's very weird, okay? Finis' route is really freaking solid, and I'm really glad they showed that he is a redeemable character. He was never an evil one in my opinion, though he did do bad things, don't get me wrong. Rather, he was misguided and believed that he was only a tool for Isaac Beckford to use, not a full human being. And having Cardia show him that he has autonomous properties, that he can do what he wants, that's a powerful thing, and I really like that. Also, it's important to know that in the next game, Wintertime Miracles, it picks up from after the Finis route, not after all the routes with the boys. So if Dishley starts from the Finis route afterward, that's the timeline they go with, so, a little note. After that, we have the most extensive of all the routes, Lupin's Gang. Taking place during the events of the original game, Cardia is abducted by the Mafia after going out for a jive. At first she feels threatened by her kidnappers, but quickly learns that they, the Gordons, are a group against the killing of others, and that the mafioso's daughter, Shirley, just wants to make new friends. Cardia is eventually returned home safely, but her and her friends soon find themselves tangled in Mafia affairs. Can they help their new criminal friends? There's a lot of interesting themes in this route, mainly discussing whether revenge should be taken against other people, and what happens when horrible things have occurred. How do you keep on going? Shirley and her father have been through a lot, and it really discusses how deep that pain goes thanks to the villain of the route, Crudel. So I appreciate that discussion, and it really was very interesting to see a mafia that doesn't kill people as well. That's unique, isn't it? I really enjoyed Lupin's Gang, and seeing all the boys in their mafia outfits was pretty freaking cool. Though as Subway user Unwilting Blossom pointed out, it's kinda weird that Shirley is 13 years old and Cardia is 17? Why can't we give Cardia a friend her own age? Come on, that's kind of strange. But overall, it's a really good round, and I recommend it. Last but not least, we have Deli's Room. These are all fun little shorts starring our favorite little vampire king. I don't have much to say about them, but they're good fun, and I recommend you play them. Well, that just about ends our journey with Code Realize Future Blessings. Did you play this game? What are your thoughts on it, and what atomes do you think I should play next? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this video, consider giving a like and subscribing. I don't get any money from YouTube for doing this because I don't have enough subscribers, so that would really help me out. If you really like the video, I have a Patreon at patreon.com/Norbiz. You can get videos early, get access to my scripts, and even commission me for a video or essay if you want. So, you know, all that good stuff. Alright, so you stay till the end, so I'm giving away another Lupin for you. I will cut the footage of that about now. To win him, look at the pinned comment below. It will lead to a tweet. On the tweet, tell me what you liked and didn't like about the video. You get to enter a giveaway by doing so, and I get some good feedback, so I think that's a win-win all around. Alright, this is Bez from Your Big Brother Plays, and I'll see you next time. Bye.